All hail King! All hail the King! All hail the King!
That was painful to watch, mate. That was.
King
Charles the
Charles
Last.
III. He's been crowned. He's now been crowned the King of England. Yes. Congratulations, Charles. You are now the King of England. And you've got a crown on your head now.
He's been waiting his whole life, man. How
All
many
hail
years?
the King.
70 years he's been waiting.
Sure, I tell you, well, the Queen Elizabeth ruled for 70 years, 70 days, 7 months and 1 day. Wow, a long time. The longest in any regime of royalty. So yes, man. Hello, YouTube. Hello to everyone in the chat. Let's see who's in the chat. Let's go to the start. Local bro. Hello, Mr. Sir Drama. Batman. Edge Case. How you doing, Edge Case? Didn't ask you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. What have you been up to today?
Just working.
Oh, you was working today.
Yeah, another day working.
Another day in paradise, as they say.
Another day on the surfing the land, innit? As a surf.
Let's do a few more hellos. We got UJ Audits, all right, mate. We got Matty England, Brat, big up Matty England in the house. Dr. K's mate. Yeah, I know about you and Dr. K, Matty. We've got Vanished, Brat, to all the members in the chat. Big up the members. We've got the local fam. We've got Joe Black is in the house. Big up Joe Black. And Recording Reality, all right, mate. I was on your stream earlier on today. Always good chatting with you. And any more hellos? We got Clarice, Starling. What we got there? Oh, what's all the emojis? Oh, we got the reptilians, the frogs. We also got Jake away day. Hello, Jake. Not my king, says Jake. Oh, we got Mrs. J with the sick emojis. What's going on? You feeling all right, Mrs. J? Mr. Fun. Hello. Yeah. One more hello. Sean E. Good evening, sir. Oh yeah, and also if we can mess with the YouTube algorithms, and the way we do that is by bashing the like button and sticking one in the chat. So yes, Age. Yes, YouTube land.
I shared the
This
picture.
evening, we'll be talking about the monarchy.
Yeah. Yeah, if you
Let's
share
bring
the
up.
picture a minute. I've got to
Yeah,
share
let's
it.
bring that up.
So this night's topics, suppose after last night or yesterday, it was fitting we'd do this. Talk about the monarchy, historical, current, republics.
Yeah, so on the
yesterday.
So we got Yeah, we've got the agenda for today is monarchy. We'll touch on historical kings and queens. Let's start off with historical kings and queens, actually. Um, what historical kings and queens do you know about?
Well, I'd say after the Romans left in, I think it was 410 AD, around that time, you had something called the Heptarchy, which was it five? I think 5 kingdoms or 7 kingdoms.
Seven kingdoms. Yeah,
That's the one, 7 kingdoms. And you had the first king was Alfred the Great, King of Wessex.
yeah. He was the first king. With all the mergers together. Yeah, because they were called all different, like
A Saxon
Wessex.
king as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, there was a Wessex. There was a East Anglia king. There was all sorts of kings everywhere. But one king for the country was Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred the Great. And he weren't on the throne for that long. It was only like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years, something like that. And then his son, I think it was his son, Edward the Elder, who took over. But yeah, there's loads. I found a list here. Here we go. Edward the Elder. Then Elfwerd, Elphiston, Edmund, Edred, Edwig, Edgar, Edward, Ethelred, the Unready. Yeah, there's just loads. Canute the Great. Have you heard of Canute the Great or Canute? Canute the
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Edward Confessor. William Henry's. There's loads.
What was this? Those were during the year 1000 or something like that.
The Heptarchy. Wow, the
Yeah.
Heptarchy lasted
No, they were
460 years. So it's like 460 years of 7 kingdoms, and it was just war, basically a war the whole time.
yeah.
You wouldn't want to live there then, really.
Gray Man says, recording reality says, let me on, guys. Yeah, we'll let guests on. What's the time now? Um, in about 10 minutes or 7 minutes. But yeah, I've got a few historical kings of other countries, like Peter the First of Russia,
Yeah.
1672 to 1725. He was the first king of Russia.
And obviously, the kings of, or the monarchy of Russia was executed, wasn't it? By the Bolsheviks. So they got rid of the monarchy, and then it turned into communism. But yeah, that was years later. Nicholas, that was it. Tsar Nicholas. 105 years ago, that was the last time Russia had a kingdom.
Wow.
Peter the First, Peter the Great. Is that where they built that big church? Peter the Great monument.
Peter the Monarchy. 1917 says Clarice. Yeah, that's about right. 107, 6 years. No. So yeah, 6 years.
And then
I
you had,
got another legendary historical king, a famous one, Haile Selassie the first. He,
oh yeah,
he he ruled between 1892 to 1975.
wow.
Long reign. Um,
Apparently he was related to Jesus. Well, apparently we all are, but no, he was like,
a living God.
yeah, a
Messiah.
living.
No, not
He could
Messiah.
prove his bloodline back to the Jesus or something.
Something like that, yeah.
The French, they had a monarchs like, I don't know, 1,000 years or so. Most of them called Louis. Germany, they had quite a few little kingdoms before it became Germany.
Yeah, a lot of that's how it was on early Earth. There used to be all little communities. What do you call them? Not communities.
Kingdoms, or
Uh,
like during the medieval era, you had, I don't know, it was called Christendom, wasn't it? So everyone was a Christian and they all had their own kingdoms. You could even go back to like the pharaohs of like Egypt.
that is true.
We did a
That is
bit of
true.
that once when we did the pyramids.
Yeah, that's actually good. We should do ancient civilizations.
Yeah. So yeah, then after the seven kingdoms, the Danish invaded, and you had what was called Dane's Law, and all the Danish kings took over, like Eltherston and Edmund and Eldred and Eadwig, and so on and so on. I think they only ruled for like 50 odd years,
Man.
and a lot of towns up north are named after sort of Danish places.
Oh, is that why there's like what uh
And more down south and to the sort of west, it's more Roman names, and then Wales and Cornwall and Scotland, they're sort of more Celtic,
right? Okay,
like names of towns, street names.
yeah. That's why there's so many different dialects of in this country because of this. The mixed breeds. Uh, in England, English times history, who was the most historical king or queen?
I'd say Elizabeth, the last one, Elizabeth II, or maybe Henry VIII, because a lot of the laws and the way that our constitution, everything it all comes from like Henry VIII. It's just really outdated, and it keeps the aristocracy in power, I suppose, or So
and
one of those two, I would say.
Elizabeth because of the her long reign over 70
Or
years.
even Queen Victoria, because a lot of the monarchy in Europe are related to Queen Victoria. Like all of her grandchildren moved across, to Germany and Denmark and Sweden and loads of little places, little principalities, and had children who had children, and they're still there today. Like,
Oh wow, Belgium, Norway, Thailand, even.
I don't know about them.
Yeah, that's British rule, isn't it? No, 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 no. No.
Yeah, that's a bit later on. That's British rule, yeah. The Kingdom of England was 927 to 1066. That's when it was just called the Kingdom of England.
Wow. Okay.
And Scotland was called Alba
Alba.
at that
Was
point.
there? There was a Wales. What that was still called Wales.
I don't know, actually. Possibly. I think Wales was created by the Normans in 1093. So yeah,
Oh,
around about that time, yeah.
so that was after.
And then you had the Battle of Hastings and the Normans invaded. And the French ruled for fuck knows how long. 60, 70 years.
Um, Tim Barron. Whites are converting to Islam in huge numbers, something like 200,000 a year. How many Christians? How many whites are converted to Christianity each year?
Maybe across the world, yeah, but not in the UK. Not
No,
that
not
many.
in the UK. No, not in the UK.
That's another thing that was created under Henry VIII was the Church of England Christianity, I suppose.
If you really
It's
want to
been
talk
a
about religion,
it's another
Christianity
subject.
that's Christianity is the dominant religion on the planet right now. Um, but anyway, let's get back on topic. Yeah, this is another day. Grey Man wants the link. I'm gonna put the link out. And we'll get him to sit at the back for a few minutes before we let him on.
Apparently, there's 12 sovereign monarchies in Europe. 7 are kingdoms: Denmark, Norway, Sweden, the UK, Spain, Holland, and Belgium. And Andorra, Liechtenstein, Monaco are principalities. And
What is this?
Luxembourg is. There's 12 monarchies in Europe:
Oh wow. Okay.
Denmark, Norway, Sweden, UK, Spain, Holland, Belgium, Andorra, Liechtenstein, Monaco. Luxembourg is a Grand Duchy.
How many did you say? 8, 6,
12 in
12.
Europe.
Well, how many countries are there in Europe? Like 36 or something like that. 37. No, more than that.
God knows. No.
In the 60s, isn't it? Something like that.
There's 43 kingdoms in the world. No. So that's like 1/5, maybe. History is twisted.
We've got some guests at the back. We'll bring both the guests on in a short while. Or should I bring them on now? I'll bring them on when we hit the next. Oh, let me just bring them on now. So here we go. Let's bring on. Let's make it full screen first. Here we go.
Good evening, mate.
Hello. Is this the real Peter?
Yeah, it's a real Peter, mate.
Okay, and let's get the other guest on. Do you mind having your camera on? Is it fine? Okay, it's good. And we got Reese. Hello, brave man, Reese.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, guys, we're talking about the monarchy today. We started off with talking about historical kings and queens. Have you guys got any?
Topic.
Have you guys got
this
any
topic.
input about historical kings or queens?
Yeah,
Who's your favorite historical king or queen?
Alfred the Great.
Alfred the Great.
Yeah.
Why?
In defense of a number of kingdoms that weren't his own, Alfred mobilized the country to go to war against the Vikings who were invading, who were the common enemy of everybody on this island. And he united the country as England, and the rest, as they say, is history. But basically after the Romans left, we were invaded by successive waves of Angles, Saxons, and Jutes from northern Germany and Denmark, from that sort of area. The Jutes were from a little bit further south, and then they settled pretty much most of the East Coast, pushed their way inland. The indigenous Celts and Romanized Britons that were left from when the Romans were there were pushed to the west of the country, which is where you get, Wales, Cornwall, Cumbria, and which is why, in some of those areas, they're still very, very greatly influenced by old Celtic ways. The Welsh language is Celtic in origin. It's very, very close to the native Brythonic that we used to speak in this country. But yeah, when the Romans left, the Saxons, Angles, they carved out little kingdoms of their own. They became this heptarchy that you were speaking of earlier. You had Wessex, Sussex, Essex, North Anglia, Mercia, Northumberland. Do you know what I mean?
East
There were
Anglia.
all these little petty fiefdom kingdoms, and then the Vikings started invading, and when all these, with us being pretty much separate and disparate kingdoms, it was very, very difficult to formulate any sort of coordinated defense against the Vikings. So they took over vast swathes of the country before they could be stopped. And it was Alfred the Great that unified pretty much most of the old kingdoms to form a defense against them. And you can see on there as they the Vikings pretty much wiped everything out. Only Wessex got any bigger from when the years of the Heptarchy to the end of the Danelaw, you see.
Okay, I've got a question for you then, mate.
Go on then.
Hello, Peter. Yeah.
I've got a question for you then, mate. So then, you're very good. You're very good on your history.
Mhm.
What has it got to do with anything to do with the monarchy?
Because the kingdoms that we are talking about coalesced
So my
into the
question,
kingdom that we
will be this
call
then.
the United Kingdom, which is the monarch in
So
question that we're
my
talking
question
about.
will be this then. So my question will be this then. What is the purpose of the monarchy? What is that purpose?
The purpose now isn't the same as the purpose it was then, when the United
The
Kingdom
purpose
first
of
came
the
about.
monarchy, I'm asking for the purpose of the monarchy at the beginning to the
It's a
end.
market at
So,
the moment. It's a
for instance,
marketing tool for UK
the purpose of the
PLC.
monarchy was
It's a marketing tool for UK PLC. It's a
now it
face.
is, yes, but
It's a
I'm
face to put
I'm
on
asking
the
what was the
facade.
purpose in the first place?
Well, it was
No,
supposedly.
I'm not asking about today. I'm asking
It-
about. You're talking about history. Hold on. You're talking about history, so I'm asking you what was the history purpose of the monarchy?
Originally, it was a leader,
Yes,
and a
leader
leader. He
into
was
war.
elected. He was elected.
Elected
Yeah, they were.
leader
They were.
into war.
Yeah, they were warrior kings. Of course, they were.
Or the most powerful person with
Yes,
the
that's
most
all that they
resources.
were. They were
Yeah.
elected leaders that took a battle into war, that took an army into war. That's all
Yeah,
that they
no
were.
different from anybody
Yeah.
else.
Today they seem to be a ruler. They seem to be a ruler today. Something changed. What changed?
Consent.
No,
the law
ignorance
changed.
changed. It's we gave them because they told us they had.
I think.
We gave them
the
through
big
our
change.
ignorance.
The big change in the way the British monarchy was organised and the basis upon which authority was exerted
So I have
came
another
in
question.
came in 1066 when William the
I have another
Conqueror
question. I have another
conquered
question.
the country by
I
force.
have another question. What power do they hold over us
Now,
in the past and now?
well, in for the longest period, actually, your monarch held the power of life and death over you.
No, the monarch only held the power of the land she owned, or they owned it all. Other than that, they are only conquest or superiors bringing a battle or people into a battle. Yeah. Other than that, they own no superiority over us, none at all. We give them that because we ended up being ignorant and thought that some man on this earth, that when we was all born equal, some man on this earth has more power than us. Like we all say, Jesus Christ. We're all looking
We're
for
singing from
Superman.
same
There's no
machine,
such
Peter.
thing as Jesus Christ neither.
Jesus Christ did exist. There's contemporary evidence that
And you can
actually,
prove it.
contemporaneous writers.
What the Bible says so. And you can
Josephus.
prove it by the books
No,
that's been written.
Josephus
But there's no
documented
video.
him.
There's no evidence of Jesus
the thing
Christ,
is
mate.
there's
I'll
no evidence
I'll
that.
tell you what you're following. You're following Caesar from the Roman times. Hold on, let me finish. Yeah, you're following the Jesus that you know of today is Caesar from the Roman times because you are still following Roman law. Yeah, so you are following Caesar's law. So the Jesus that you see or you perceive to see as Jesus is Caesar. Know your history as you claim to know.
Well, I do know my history, and what parallels are you drawing between Caesar and?
Well, if you do, you would know
Jesus, 'cause
everything
they
I
lived
just
very
said is
different.
true.
Calm down, guys.
What you want to do is you're just like everybody else. You're just like a lot of people on YouTube that want to bring a lot of fabricated evidence that you follow and say that this is the truth that you follow. Then we must know. Learn your history. Go back in time. Okay, I've got a question for you then. Where did we come from?
We descended from shared ancestors that we have with primates.
And that's the information you was told, and that's the information you repeat. You don't really know it because you've done no research in it, so you can't other than repeat what you've been told. This is my
Peter,
point, and the information
hold on,
that's been
Peter.
given
Hold on,
to us
guys.
all that
Guys.
we are
Hold
repeaters.
on.
No, hold on, let me finish.
Hold on.
Hold on. Before we do, we're all repeaters because we all repeat what we've been told.
Peter, there's many
Go on,
theories
sorry, go on.
out there. Peter, there's many theories out there. Your theory might not be the right theory.
Can I respond with something?
I agree 100%. But I would say this though: nobody's theory is right. The only theory that you consume yourself to becomes right for you.
Peter, do you have a
That's okay. Let go on.
do you have a degree in electrical engineering?
I wouldn't say a degree, but I have certificates to say I'm an electrical engineer. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So you understand how a computer works, yeah?
No, that is technical. That's not electrical engineering.
Oh, okay. So, but you understand that a computer does work, right?
Yeah, I understand the basics of the computer, how it works, and how you can find things and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to a computer, you don't necessarily need to know how it works to be able to work it. Would you say that that's true?
Like a car,
True, yeah.
most people
True,
don't know
yeah.
how
Yeah,
a
most people
combustion
don't.
engine works.
Most people can't tell you how a car works, but they know how to drive. And I work in the motor industry, and I can tell you that this much is true.
I agree
There are
with you.
people that are
100%.
baffled with their car. Anyway, the point I'm making is, just because I haven't studied genetics at university doesn't mean that I am incapable of understanding the principles of how genetics work and understand that the genetic story that is told, that is written in our DNA, that's not written by any human hand. That's a history. It is a history of our ancestry with every other, our shared ancestry with every other organism on this earth. And you can trace that back through time. If you've got
Like I
fossils
say, mate, like I say, mate, I agree. I agree with a lot you've got to say, 100%. But what I'm saying is this: I could repeat the same things you're saying. I could find the same things you're saying, and all I'm doing is repeating all that I found. What do we know? What is really true? Now, the reason why I say that is this: a lot of things resonate with us in life. Now, that information that you're speaking about, I've been down that path, and it never resonated with me. I find it a big lie. Somewhere along the line, I just find it a big lie. And that is the reason why I came on to say all that you're doing, mate. No offense to you. And I believe you're right in what you're doing because it resonates with you. But remember this, yeah. We're all, if your history in everything that you've been told is a lie, how can anything be true today that you speak? That's all I'm saying. So if you dig deeper, you will see that you're speaking a lie, is all I'm trying to say. And it's their version that we're being taught to push onto others. That's
I understand that
I'm not saying that you're wrong at all,
history's
mate.
written by the
All I'm
victors,
saying
isn't
is
it?
history is a lie. Yeah, so
History's written by the
it's a
victors.
lie
I
that we've been
understand that
told.
completely, but obviously there are some things that you have
But
to
I will
look at.
say this though. I enjoy conversations like this. The deeper that we can go, the better.
Let's not go deep. Let's try and stay on topic because we're talking about the monarchy and there's a lot to cover actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's go back onto topic. We got another guest at the back. I think he wants to interject you two. Let's quickly do this and then go back on track.
Hello.
Hello, Mark Kelly.
How you doing, local?
All right, mate.
Good
Yeah,
evening.
not bad.
Mr. Mark.
How you doing, Reese?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Hanging in there.
Yeah.
Evening, Mark. I didn't notice you, mate.
Yeah, how you doing, Peter? I've only just sort of heard the last couple of bits, and I got to agree with Peter. History does tell a lot of lies, and I mean the royals at this moment. Me personally, I ain't got nothing against them. I've just looked at them as basically what their role at the moment, even though they're so-called heads of state, to me, their roles are nothing but tourist attractions.
Sure.
That's all I can see what they do. And let's face it, I mean, you don't just be born king, do you? Your family and ancestors were, you know, probably vicious and beheaded people and done all sorts of things
So, Mark,
in their
can I ask
past.
you?
Hang on, let me finish, and that's exactly why they're kings, because they were more vicious than any family was stood up to them in the centuries past.
Yeah,
So,
it was
you
messed
know,
up.
for
was
them
messed
to be
up
just
years ago.
born head of state, I don't think it's a good idea, to be quite honest.
Well, look at how fucked up William and Harry are.
Well, I mean,
It's a dysfunctional family, but you can't expect anything different from what those kids went through when they were hounded. Them and the mum, the mum was hounded to death by the paparazzi. I remember when she took them skiing, yeah, and the paparazzi were literally chasing them down the fucking mountains.
yeah,
That's what
I
the
agree
paparazzi
with
Disgusting,
you.
man.
do
I
anyway.
agree with you on that one. But one thing I will say is, you know, Harry, he marries a mixed race girl and then starts calling the royal family racist or something along them lines. Yet he's the only one ever to be recorded making racial slurs against someone.
And not only that, wearing a Nazi
Yeah,
uniform.
when he wears
It's a
a
bit
Nazi
hypocritical.
suit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
when he was in the army, and he said, "Our little Packy friend." That's what he said, and that's recorded, and everyone heard it. Yet he's calling the rest of the royal family racist because he's married a mixed race girl. I don't see them as racist.
Okay,
To be
Mark.
quite honest, any of the royal family.
So Batman wants to know
Okay,
what
then, Mark. You know,
in
this
what year.
weekend.
Sorry,
You know, this weekend. You know, this weekend has just gone by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for instance, it was the 6th of May, but the coronation should have been held on the 8th. Can you? I asked this question earlier. Can you answer why was it brought forward
I
to
was
the
going to
6th
come to
instead of
it
being
later.
held on the 8th? That it should have
I have
been
no
held on,
idea.
because on the 8th there is a purpose. The reason why it's held on the 8th, because like I says, okay, I've not watched the coronation, so I don't know any of what I'm going to say right now. What I'm going to say is true. I've not watched it, so anybody can hold me to account. But there is a philosopher. There's called a philosopher's stone that the chair sits. That the stone goes underneath the chair. The coronation
The stone of
chair.
Scone. It was
Now,
the stone
I
of
don't
Scone,
know.
my friend.
Yeah, the stone of
I
Scoon's
don't
been
know what
sent
it
back
is,
to Scotland.
but there
I
is a
believe.
stone that goes underneath the chair of coronation. Was it under Charlie's chair? Was it under Charlie's chair? If it wasn't, then what you watched was a farce.
Yeah.
All
Well,
I can
Peter,
say. I didn't watch
Peter,
it, so
I know. Hang on, Peter. I'm pretty sure I read a few years back that the stone of Scone was returned to Scotland. So whether it was under the chair, I highly doubt that, because the Scots were very annoyed that the
They
stone.
wanted it back.
Yeah, they
well,
wanted
then,
it back.
Mark, I will say this: then, if it's not under that chair, that wasn't a real coronation. Full stop.
Well, perhaps they lent it to him. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I never watched it
It wasn't.
myself, Peter.
I've not watched it,
It's
Mark.
not my
I've not watched
thing.
it,
Yeah.
but I know for a fact it wasn't
Yeah.
there. I know for the fact it wasn't there because it was taken. It was taken
See,
when just before the Queen died. It was taken off them.
yeah.
I mean.
See. I mean, I don't know if it was there or not, Peter, but I know it was returned to Scotland. But I don't see how someone like Charles and people like that could be regarded as heads of state, when really, to me, they're just nothing but tourist attractions nowadays. There's something what sells cups and Union Jacks. I mean, in all honesty, I've grown up with them people, and I've not really got a lot against them, really, apart from a few nasty things I've heard about them. But at the end of the day, I mean, for people just to be born into being head of state, I don't think that's on in today's modern world.
I agree with you
there, Mark.
Yeah.
100%, I agree with you. Now, I see this as a free world, and I believe that everybody should be allowed to be able to one, as we say, we have a voting society. We all should be able to, like for instance, the best man wins in every fucking game, yeah, that's ever been played on Earth. So then, why isn't the monarchy the same way?
Because we have to sort of shed off the past. You know, they've been.
No, we have to follow the bloodlines of the monarchy. Yeah, they have to keep it in the family, shag about, shagging the family, cousins and aunts, uncles, and everything else, mate kids and everything else to keep the royal family running. Now, I think that is diabolical and it should be abolished. And
Yeah, we need
I
to
think
try
it
and get
should
rid
be
of
a
it.
free for all. And I believe it should be a free for all if we want somebody to stand up there with the right words that are spoken. Only with the right words that are spoken that can be carried out and fulfilled for the benefit of us. Yeah, somebody
You
who
got to
is
get
true
someone in
all the
Parliament, an
way.
MP, that are willing to do it, and we'll have MPs that will back them.
No, we go back to the head of state. The head of state tells Parliament what the people want. The Parliament then implicate it to the people. Yeah, we ask the crown, we implicate the king or the queen, whoever it is, to give us our rights and tell us, and we tell them how we want to live. Because remember, they are our servants. They are there to give us the benefits of the life given to us via God. They are the ones that claim, hence the Pope. They are the ones, hence my name. They are the ones that claim they have all the power that can give it to us. But what do they do instead? They hold it back and say no, and they refuse us the God's way of living. They give us the devil's way of living instead.
Well,
sorry, I didn't mean to take over your chat.
Any last words on that matter?
Really, no. Go on, Reese.
Just well.
Oh, okay.
You know, the hardest thing in life is the truth. To accept the truth. That's the hardest thing in life, is to accept the truth. Because we all like shiny things. We all like sparkly things. We all like things that make us happy. We don't accept anything that makes us sad. And the truth makes us sad because it turns us away from the lies that we've been living.
Peter, Radio Human says the 8th of May is the day of the end of the Second World War. It's a bank holiday in France.
Go back to the coronation of 1953, was it? And then repeat what he's got to say. Know thy history.
Well,
Would we?
if they'd have held it on the Monday, the disruption would have carried over into Tuesday, wouldn't it? Because they'd have all the infrastructure still to take down. With them holding it on the Saturday, they've had the rest of the weekend to be able to clear all the roads, get everything tidied up again, and business can continue as usual, can't it?
Would we all agree that? Go on.
Go on, Mark. Go on, Mark.
Would we all probably agree, for what you've seen, that the Royals have probably never been so unpopular in your lifetimes?
Definitely.
Well, everybody loved the Queen. No one loves
Mark.
Charles. Nobody loves Charles.
No one likes him, really.
Yeah. Well, I remember as a kid watching him.
Can I answer the guy with the hat on with his question? Go on,
Who is
Mark.
the guy with the hat on? Is that Reese?
Of course it is.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't. So I'm only looking on the phone, Reese. I know you're a bit.
Oh, it's all right, mate. I'm a bit small down. I'm just above you.
Yeah. I know you got some wacky hats as well. So that's better.
Oh no,
yeah.
I put a hat on to hide my hair. My hair's just a complete shambles at the minute.
Okay.
So,
Good. What was it you was going to ask then, Peter?
To be honest, mate, I've forgotten.
So, when does the current line of British monarchs extend from? When was the line established? Yes, English.
Well, British was
English monarchs. English monarchs.
Oh, English monarchs. That's like 927, maybe.
Okay,
We
then.
got rid of
I'm
him.
going back
Seminal
to the-
event in British history, in English history. Seminal event. It changed everything in one day.
Okay, I'm
Charles
going back.
the First, the beheading of Charles the First.
No.
I'm going to go back to your list. Who's your presenter of this channel?
Local experimentalist.
Okay, mate.
Yes.
Sorry, mate. I can't see your name, so I can't.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry, mate, for being a bit rude. But anyway, you got to list up like history. I can't see it all, and then current value,
Let's talk about current.
constitutional. Now, let's get to that part. What is the English No, what
The
is the
English-
English constitution, and where is it?
Say that again. I didn't catch that.
His mic keeps cutting out.
I'm looking down your
Yeah.
list of you got five things on your channel, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going
tutorial, this,
through
that, and
them one by one.
And-
We was going through
Get
historical
down to the
kings
middle
and
one.
queens.
Which is why I asked how far back the current line of British kings and queens goes. If anybody could tell me.
I can't answer that. Would you like to tell us, Reese?
It's 1066.
Oh, so we're going back to the Battle of
Yeah,
Hastings.
yeah, it is 1066. Yeah. You got to remember, we go back to the first monarch that jumped on a horse and went into battle, and people followed him. That's what was the monarch them days. Yeah, it was a heroic person that went into battle and took his troops in to try and win. That is what the monarch was all about. This is the reason why in England we called him the king, because he had more balls than us.
Do you know
all it
William was?
Yeah.
You know who William was? William was a Norseman, and the word Norseman is a French term meaning man from the north. Yeah. The Vikings first settled northern France, and they were the French king was quite savvy. Yeah, he said, "Okay, I can't stop these people invading on their ships, but what I can do is I can recruit them to defend me from other Vikings invading with their ships." So that's
Sounds a
essentially
bit
what
like
they
what's
did.
going on now.
Yeah. So the Norsemen settled in Normandy, yeah, the home of the Norman, and William the Conqueror was a Norman who invaded England. So ultimately, the Vikings won.
Mhm.
And that's where
Wow.
our entire British royal family stems its origin from, that point in history.
I agree. The man who's speaking, I can't see whose voice is coming up, but you're dead right on your history there. But again, what I'm trying to say is this: yes, that is where the royal family started from. But what they did was took us into battle every time, and they would also put up their life to show that their life is as much as worth as ours. Yeah, but today that isn't what it is, and it hasn't been that for over 150 years. Yeah. These monarchs seem to have stepped back and taken control to the point of like it's come to the point of you are our slaves, whereas they forget that they are ours. They are only there as a subject. It's like a flag pole. That's all that they are. Is just it's a subject of, if you're looking over here, this is what you see. That's all that they are. Do you know what I mean? Nothing more. I don't understand how the crown can own all of England and half of the world. How the fuck, when the world is
Because
free and
William
given
the
to us all,
Conqueror,
can
William the
one
Conqueror
person own it all?
invaded and
That's-
took it
don't
all
make no
by
sense.
right. He took it all by right of conquest, all of it.
Yeah.
The existing landowners, the
There's only
gentry,
one right,
the
and that's God's right,
Anglo-Saxons.
and that
Hang
was
on.
given to us all.
He took it by right of conquest, whether you like it or not. That's what he did.
Yeah, and
And
they're still
Go on,
they're now
sorry.
taking it from when people inheritance tax, for instance. I think it's around about 40% now. So your estate now goes to 40% of it goes to the crown. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not entirely certain, to be honest with you. But it
Yeah,
wouldn't
You're
surprise
dead
me.
right there. But my point is this, Mark, yeah, is if we employ somebody to do a job for us, how can they switch it around and tell us now we work for them? How does that work? That don't work that way. We are the ones that are asleep. These crown people work for us. They don't own the world like we are told they do. Yeah, we are the dreamers that's pretending to live. We are the ones that are told how to live. We are the slaves if we don't wake up that they want to eat. Now we need to wake up and
Peter.
say no more to this shit
Peter.
that is given to us. Now, people like you, no offense, mate, you are good with your history and I like you for it 100%. But the only thing is you are an acceptor because you are a repeater and telling us to fucking follow bullshit. We have the chance to
Hang
turn
on,
it
hang on,
around,
hang on, hang
and
on.
that is your
Listen,
history that you're
listen.
telling us. Is
I've
hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. You can have your say. Let me finish. You can have your say. You are one man that's turning around, telling us how to live, yeah, by their ways and beans, which we've always been told all of our life. No, we have the time now to change it around and say the shit that you gave us all of our life is bullshit, and what you're repeating to us today is their bullshit. You need to stop. You need to wake up and start repeating the fucking truth and not their truth. Sorry, mate. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But that is the truth coming from me.
go on, then, Reese, respond.
there are some things in history that aren't really subjective to interpretation. For example, when a king loses a battle and gets killed, it's pretty definitive. Do you know what I mean? That happened, and from 1066. In fact, I'd say from King Alfred onwards, we have had pretty good written records of things that have happened in the past. Yeah, and I understand that there's a bias towards the leader of the day, and maybe some propagandization of characters that you want to demonize, for example. I know all that stuff happens, but there's a pretty general consensus that the way that things happened in history, the progression that they took, that's the progression they took. It's recorded history. That's why they call it that.
Reese, can I apologise to you, mate? I don't mean to be out of order in any shape, way, or form. And honestly, I don't. Yeah, I'm just questioning your way. That's all I'm doing. Listen, I want to go to my deathbed knowing all I need to know. That's all I'm asking. Now, if I'm coming across more forcefully than anybody else, is because I have more questions to ask you. Now, I've got another question to ask you, just to show you how more forcefully I am. Now I just lost myself. I'll come back to that. But either way, I'm just trying to say, listen, mate, I have no animosity towards you for you and your beliefs and for your journey that you've been on. I do
History's
big up
just a
you
hobby of
and
mine, mate.
respect you,
I
but at
it
least
fascinates me.
trying to find out something, even though, hold on, even though we or you or me could be wrong, who knows? It's just a journey we're both on. Go on, mate. Sorry.
That's another show. You could do like a whole show about revealing the truth of history.
Yeah.
But tonight, I'll say tonight's show is about monarchy.
Yeah. See,
it's not really about the human spirit. And
yeah. I just want to go back to someone in the chat can maybe Google it. But 40% of a man's worked for all his life, and he buys a house, and 40% of that goes to either the state or government or the crown. And I just think that is an absolute absurd taxation.
It's feudal, isn't it?
Yeah,
what's that?
It's part of feudalism. Yeah, of course
it's just a modern day feudal system.
So
Well,
think about this, Mark. The majority of
Well,
people.
well,
The
if you
majority
go,
of people.
if you go to
Peter,
my,
give me a
if
second,
you-
please. The majority of people work for an employer. Yeah, that employer profits off of their labor. So most people get paid by the hour, and generally, in order for a job to be viable, that employee needs to be making about 5 times what he makes per hour in terms of what the company makes for having that employee. So when you consider that the employer is taking a huge slice, the taxman's taking a slice when you earn the money, when you get paid on the little money that you do make, and then, as you say, when you die, 40% of that goes to the taxman too.
Yeah,
There's
it's
only two things
disgusting.
that are certain in this life:
you're dead
death
right, but you got a
and
few things.
taxes.
Yeah, I know that.
You're dead right, but you
I-
got a few things wrong there. Depends on your workforce. Remember, everybody that works for you, you're taking an income from them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, you're also taking an income for your business. And remember this: if you're not taking an income from it, yeah,
Your
and
business
it's
isn't
going back
viable.
into the business, well, then you can't be taxed.
Well, you know, your business isn't viable, is it? It's not. It's not viable to hold a position open if it's not profitable to have that employee working for you at that point in time.
No, watch this. You can only be taxed if you are the CEO of a business. The business can only be taxed if you take an income. That's how easy it is.
85,000, yeah. Minimum 85,000.
As long as you if you're the CEO and you take a wage, if you're the business owner, yeah, and you take a wage, well, then you need to be taxed. If you don't take a wage, your business can't be taxed. Full stop.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if the majority of people in this country work for big corporations, yeah, would you say that that's true?
I've been working self-employed for 10 years and I've not paid any tax so far. And I've
So
not been
yeah,
taken
but I'm
to
not.
any
I'm not
court.
talking about your own personal circumstances, Peter. What I'm talking about is the majority of people that are working in this country work for big corporate employers because those are the biggest employers. They're working
I agree.
for,
I agree.
and if they're not working for corporate employers, they're working for public services like NHSs and councils and
Yeah.
universities and
which
I know
are
that.
corporate, Reese.
Well, yes, they are to a respect, but they're not. They're not run
Well,
for profit.
if you look properly, councils are corporate. So yeah.
Yeah, they're not. They're not run for profit in the same way that a corporation with a CEO and shares in the FTSE
I'm going to
100
Yes,
beg
type
to
they
of
are,
differ.
company.
because
I'm going to beg to differ,
they
but
give
that
us
would
false
start a whole
information.
new debate. So let's
Every council,
not go on a small thing. Yeah.
every council give off parking taxes. They don't have the authority to give anybody a tax. Yeah. They also give off council tax. They don't have any authority to enforce any tax. Council have no authority to enforce anything. You remember, the council are employed by us as a community to house and serve us. They are not corporate. They are not the government. They are employed by us. This is what we forget. The people that work in the council are underneath us, not above us. They can't tell us anything. We tell them. We got to learn how to take it back. It's been taken.
How does that
from
work for you,
us.
Peter? Do you go to council and tell them what to do?
Sorry, mate. Carry on. Sorry, I didn't mean to take over.
Can we get back on track? What was the third one down local?
No, the
What
council
was it?
think that they can because they're. Yeah, it's about the Constitution. Let's get to the Constitution. What is the English Constitution? Because I can show you that we do have one, 100%. I can also show you we have a Bill of Rights and we also have a Magna Carta, which says in perpetuity. Now, I'd like to bring up three points. What does the word perpetuity mean if it doesn't mean set in stone? And two is, how can you change a stone which you can't move and put anything in front of? And the third thing is this. What is true
We've
that
had
we're
this
ever
discussion,
fucking told?
Peter, we've had this discussion. The foundation of the British legal system is supposedly based on the Magna Carta, although the Magna Carta was withdrawn because it was invalidated by the Pope at King John's request. The barons went to war with King John for this
The
act,
Second Barons' War.
and they captured King John. I believe he was murdered, and his son Henry was, who was only a boy at the time, was crowned, but in regency. So they had somebody else looking after his affairs. And then when he came of age, in 1225, they had him sign a document that was pretty much the same as the Magna Carta. It wasn't called the Magna Carta at that point; it was called something else. But it was pretty much the same document enshrining the same rights. Now, most of the rights that are given to us in those documents have been superseded by statutory law. After that point, they are still the same rights that are given by that document. Most of those rights still exist, but in the form that they take is in statutory law, not in enshrined in those particular documents themselves. Most of those principles have been superseded by other pieces of law.
Can I come back?
So it's not codified in one single written document like the US Constitution.
Yeah, not anymore, no.
Yes, it is. That's the point. Yes, it is.
It's spread across a few. There's a Bill of Rights.
Should I say this? Yeah, it's hidden from us. It's hidden from us. I can take you into Royal Courts of Justice, yeah, and in the centre of the Royal Courts of Justice used to be, which has been moved and hidden, but it's still in the Royal Courts of Justice if you look or know where to find it. A statue that used to be right at the front has been removed right to the back to do with common law. Now, remember this. Now, I will say this. Yeah, we have to go into common law here. Now, under the Royal Courts of Justice, I'll make it short and sweet. Under the Royal Court of Justice, you have three councils. You have the Queen's Council, you have the Queen's Bench, and you also have the Master's Division. Which one are you going to call under common law? The question I leave on the floor.
No idea.
Master's Division. Do you know why? Because you are the master and you call council.
Okay. Can you sue the king?
You are higher than the king. The king works underneath you. This is the point of me.
Can the king be sued?
This is my point of me trying to say that the monarchy that you just seen, the monarchy died. We don't have a continuity of government. We have a government that's falling apart left, right, and center. We also have a monarchy that's falling apart left, right, and center. We have no continuity of anything. So then,
local.
Let me finish. The continuity of law is also the same because these are the representatives are the continuity of law. Now, if they are falling apart, that also means the law is. That means, say, nobody can prosecute you under the system at this moment in time. And the reason why is we are under martial law. And I don't know how many times I've told you this, but we are under martial law. The simple fact is this. We have no continuity of government. We have no continuity of royalty. There is no continuity. So that leaves the army to put continuity back. All right, go on. You know it all. You speak the shit, mate. Go on.
Yeah, no, I was letting you speak. Go on. What's up, Rhys?
I was going to ask you if you had a graphic of the royal family tree.
And what's that going to prove other than we are slaves underneath them? Go on. What's that going to prove?
Age, do you want to?
Because we're talking about the monarchy and we're trying to keep on track. And I think it'd help us.
Well, I just told you what just happened, and yet you just ignored every word I just said.
Well, let's move on, Peter. Let's move on and get on to what.
That's like
So mine's
jurisprudence.
less important from what the next man's got to say. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Mark?
it's not less important. Nothing's less
Well,
important.
my point of view is my point by bringing this up is this: we have been hoodwinked and synced, yeah, to the point of view that these people are claiming that they have more authority than us. No, they are public servants, even though they are the crown. They are still public servants. Remember, nobody is no higher than the next man. That we all claim. Let's go to Jesus. Jesus Christ is born. This is their story. That makes a man higher than us. This is their story. Yeah. Jesus was born and he had all these credibilities, and none of us have these credibilities. Yeah. This is our Superman we're all looking up to, and we're all waiting for him yet to come back. No, the Superman is in you.
Yeah.
The Superman was taken away from you.
Peter, have you taken any drugs?
No, let's not go there.
That's a bit much.
No. He's just
No, Reece, that's a little bit much.
And if I have, what's the problem? Am I seeing something in a daylight situation that you can't see, or are you seeing something?
No,
in
because
a
your
dark
speech is
situation
quite
that I
pressured,
can't see?
mate.
Which way are we seeing this?
Yeah, he's only a bit passionate, Reece. He's only a bit passionate. That's all.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fine. Calm down, Reece.
I'm calm, mate.
Yeah, calm down, Reece. Calm down, mate. Calm down. Normally, I'm the one that's been told to calm down. Thank you.
Well, there's what you were saying there, Peter. You know, there's a quote of God is no bigger than I, and God is, well, let me forget it right. God is no bigger than I, but no smaller than I. And that's Silesia, 16th century. So that's, all that stuff, what you're saying is something along them lines.
Well, thank you, Mark. Now, I do my history.
I can't remember the quote properly, so please don't. Forgive me if I got it wrong.
Yes, Age. Have we found a picture of the tree yet?
I found one, but
anyway, thank you, Mark, for that saying.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Cool.
guys,
Yeah,
I'm going to chip out because I've got to go to bed in the morning. So not in morning. I've got to go to work in the morning. I've got to go to bed.
Remember this, everybody that's on the panel. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. We've all found our own way by what we've been taught to get on with, to get us to this day. Now, today we share this moment, and we're all trying to bring everything that we have to the table. Now, you may be right in what you've lived with, and I may be right with what I've lived with, but also we may be wrong. Remember, this time is about 50-50. Bring to it, and let's change emotions. Let's change the world.
Here to that, Peter. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Rich. Thanks for joining, man. You've been great.
Yeah, nice. Good to see you, Reece.
See you later, guys.
Sorry, Reece, if I've upset you. Good night. God bless.
You know what? Sorry, Loco. I'm going to jump off as well. I've got a few things to do before I do a couple of things. So yeah, nice one, Local. Is it who's the guy below you, Local? Age.
Age.
Yeah, Age.
Take it easy, man. Take it easy.
Yeah. All right, mate. Nice one, Age.
Nice one.
Take it easy. Hello.
Yeah, take it easy, man. Peace,
Good night,
love, and
Mark.
light.
God bless, Mark. Love and light.
Yeah, take it easy, guys, and chat.
Anyway, Reece, if you're Local Experiments, I can see your name now. Local Experiments, you're the host of the show. Thank you for bringing me on tonight. I may not have agreed with everybody, and everybody may not agree with me, but I will say this. I will join the rest of them. I'll say love and light. Good night. God bless. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your space. I've enjoyed every moment. Good night. God bless.
Cheers, Peter. Thanks for joining, man. You've been great. All of you have been great. Well, we're not finished, are we?
No.
I was going to say.
I felt like that last half hour, it's just been stalled.
Yeah, I did say let's get Mark on and finish it. Yeah. So what are we on now? Are we on we're still on the second one. It's been an hour.
We've kind of done three, haven't we? 1, 2, 3 constitutional monarchies. We were chatting about that.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. Yeah, we
And
have.
we've gone into like the uncodified constitution. Some will disagree. And Greyman was right what he was saying about you know, it's just spread out amongst laws and statutes.
Yeah.
So what about republics?
Republics.
There's plenty of republics in the world. United States, Russia being the two biggest.
What do you mean by republics?
They're countries without a king or a monarchy.
Yes.
So, like
And,
for instance, in America, you got 50 states.
yes.
They've all got their own like individual laws, but then they all come as United States. In Russia, you've got, I think it's 86 states, different states. They've all got their own little laws, but then they all come under Russia.
Right.
They have a head of state that represents them instead of a monarchy. France, the same. But then what's the difference between a republic and a monarchy? You've just got a set of rich people that rule over the rest.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. What is the difference? Does anyone in the chat know?
Well, kingdoms are ruled by conquest, and republics will just, I don't know, eventually became of all the kingdoms. Slowly, one by one, all these countries around the world are becoming republics, and monarchies are dying out. Because let's face it, it's not like we need monarchies anymore, or we live in those times. I think they're outdated. I forget the word. It's like acronyms. They're from the past. Outdated, tumbleweeds.
I don't have any notes on republics. I thought we'd keep one of the guests on at least, but you know.
Do you reckon we should like have a referendum on a republic? And what do you reckon the result would be? I reckon it'd be quite close.
I don't know, man. I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I don't really. Well, I can't call myself a conspiracy theorist, but my thinkings could label me a conspiracy theorist. So I don't vote. Because what's the point? What's my vote? My vote, my one vote can't change nothing, so I don't vote.
It would be like Brexit undelivered. I imagine that 10 years down the line, everyone voted to get rid of the king. And they've got all these little things like...
If it was a one-off vote, like let's get rid of the king, let's get rid of the royal family, then yes, I'd vote. Because that's what I'm protesting about. That's what
a lot of people would vote against it. I know they would. I think they say in the media, oh no, it's still a lot of support for the monarchy. But then they don't go and ask every single person in the country this question, which is what a referendum would do.
Yeah.
Safe, mate. I had conspiracy theorist. I thought my name was
Conspiracy
called.
theories.
I
He's a
thought my name was
conspiracy
called.
theorist.
I'm an
No,
expert
no,
on
no.
conspiracies.
My thoughts could label me a conspiracy theorist, but I don't really label myself that.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I thought it was a calling. That's why I came back, mate. I heard my name,
Oh,
conspiracy theorist, so I came running back.
I didn't call you a conspiracy theorist. I called
Oh
myself
no,
one.
I know you didn't, mate. I heard the name conspiracy. Listen, I live my life about conspiracies. Do you know why? Because over the past 20 years of me living life through conspiracies, trying to tell people that this has happened, that has happened, and be called a
Yeah.
liar and everything else. Just after 20 years, I've been proven true. Well, I wasn't, but
So
the people that were telling the stories with. Go on.
so we're talking about voting. Does that work?
It works in two ways. Yeah, it depends on which way you want to see it. Now, if you don't vote, they claim, they say, let's say that those that don't vote, that the say that the Conservatives are in, that they take the vote. Well, then I think that's wrong, and that shouldn't be taken that way, because if the people haven't spoken, they don't have the rights to take that. Yeah. So then that shouldn't be used in the manner that they do use it to, which I've been using in the past. So uh, I would just say this: everybody should just stop voting. Full stop. They will soon
Yeah.
get the fucking message.
This was the next question I was going to ask you. Uh, what would happen in this scenario? If nobody went out and voted, what would happen then?
But they have
You
enough
you
people
would
that
crush the
do
system.
vote.
You would crush the system, because remember, if nobody voted for anybody, well, then nothing could work, because nobody has the power to push the buttons or make the toddles work. It's like you coming to me and me starting up a business, and I'm asking you, do you know how this machinery works? And you says, yeah. And I says, what does this button mean? And you says, I ain't got a fucking clue. You ain't getting the fucking job. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But yet we're employing idiots to do that same fucking job and allowing them to push them fucking buttons. Come on, for fuck's sakes. Do you really need a Superman? Come on. Are you not liable for what your actions you take? Are you not man enough to say, oh, I made a mistake? Come on. That's what it boils down to being. Are you man enough to man up and say, okay, I shouldn't have done? That's been taken away from us and been put into somebody else's hands, which is called a
Yeah.
solicitor and a judge and a summary judgment, because you don't have the capability of being liable for your actions. Remember, I was stupid until I was dropped on my head. Then I became sane.
What was that?
I was stupid until I was dropped on my head and I became sane. It's you people that ain't dropped on your head that can't become sane.
That's funny. That's funny.
It's not fucking
Um.
funny, mate. It's the truth. When I was
Oh,
dropped on my head, I wasn't really dropped on my head. Yeah, but when I
yeah.
was dropped on my head, yeah,
That's
I
what I
got.
was saying was funny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get you. But I'm just trying to make you feel guilty. That's all.
No.
Come on, 50-50. You accept it. I don't. I don't accept
So
it. You
let's
don't
go
accept
back to the topic. We're talking about republics. Any you know anything about republics?
Yeah, there's no such thing. Yeah, because if there's a republic, that means that there's an opposite side. We all need to balance ourselves on one agreement. Is it right for you? Is it right for me? If it's right for me, it's right for you. We'll balance ourselves on that boat when we're both in the same boat on the same water. That law doesn't suit me. It also doesn't suit you. So I can't enforce it, and neither can you. Remember this, yeah? At the end of the day, we're all balanced on a flat earth, as so many people say. We're on flat ground. Yeah, we're on flat ground. Let's put it this way. We also have playing fields. The playing fields are also
Yeah.
called courts. The courts
Cool.
are one winner, one loser. Now we need to balance that back out and put it back to a balanced situation. There is no winner, there is no loser. We will compromise with the truth and the truth only. Until then, we have nothing we can speak about.
You could negotiate between you two, and
You can
there will be no
negotiate a
winner.
lie to make the truth out of a lie. Yes, I will agree. But you can't negotiate the truth. The truth will stand as a building set in
Yeah.
stone. It is one way. But a lie will show you many paths to try and get around it. But every path leads back to the truth. As they say, every road leads back to Rome. There's one reason they say that, and that's this. There's only one way to the truth, and that is straightforward. Take as many corners as you like, but when the truth hits you, it's gonna fucking hurt. You can avoid it as much as you like, but when
Peter,
you're rammed with it, it's gonna hurt. Go on,
Peter,
sorry.
um, we can't, we can predict the future, but we don't have no say in it. So with me, I have to now embrace the future and the 2030 agenda, if there's a such thing, and all of the other stuff, and robots and chips in the brain and all of that stuff.
Okay, yeah, and
Yeah,
that's your acceptance. So then, what if I turn around and says to you that is all false and that's not going to come? That's not my way of living. I don't see any of that. Just shall I tell you why? Because I'm in control of mine. I don't let any man take control of my life to tell me that that's the way I'm going to live. No, that ain't the way I'm going to live. Shall I tell you how I'm
yeah.
going?
Okay,
Hold on. You just told.
okay.
Hold on. You
Sure,
just told me yours. Shall I tell
sure.
you how I'm going to live? I'm going to live the way that God gave me. I have the rights to say no to everything that's offered to me. Now, if I'm
Yeah,
not, no, let me finish. Now, if I don't accept it, that means say it's not accepted. So then it will not be forced upon me. Job done. Now you can speak. Sorry, mate. I didn't mean to be forceful.
um, okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Completely forgot what I was gonna say now. Yeah. Age, have you got anything to say?
Don't know. There's loads of things you could say.
Can I say this to you, local? Yeah.
Gone.
If I asked you to jump high, would you ask me how much I'm going to pay you?
What?
If I asked you to jump high, would you ask me how much am I going to pay you?
I would say what?
Well, life's the same way. Now, the reason why it's the same way is like this. I need to eat, and heat. Yeah, stay warm. So I'm going to pay my way through it to get to what I need to get through to be me comfortable in my home. Now, that's what life's about. Getting comfortable with the information that you're being told, making sure
Oh
it's
yeah.
right, making sure it's right, and you're comfortable that you can spread the same information out there. Now, I've got a brain injury. Let's put it this way. I've got a brain injury, and I don't think like you lot do in this world. I've had conversations with many people. I don't sit on the basic level. I would call it a basic level. I'm on the confused level compared to a basic level. I'm underneath you with the way I think, but I see more than what you lot do. Do you know what I mean? In basic, you're on the basic, and I'm on the confused level. But I still see more than what you lot do on the basic level. Saying I also the basic level is acceptance. I'm not on that level because I can't accept the information that's been given to me. One is because I got a brain injury, so I say, but it's true. But I see things differently also because I'm blind. Do you know what I mean? It's mad how I see things. Like I say, if you ever met me in person, you wouldn't get on with me. Not get on with me. Not that you want to fight me. You wouldn't get on with me in the way that I speak, because the same way I speak here on YouTube, I speak the same way in life. I'm so confused and it's untrue, and it's mad. I'm crazy, and please tell me I am.
No, your thoughts are your thoughts.
And they are crazy thoughts, and they're not your thoughts, they're my fucking thoughts. That's what makes me crazy. See? We ain't got 50-50 here. I'm taking it all.
Well, no, I'm not going to question you about your thoughts. I'm not going to say, no, you're wrong. It's actually this way. My way could be wrong. Your way could be wrong or right. You know,
Every way we're ever taught was wrong. We're trying to make the best way we find through it. Remember, let's just go back to the Second World War. We're hearing bombs and gunfire and everything else, and we ain't in no trenches. The first thing we hit is the ground, and the first thing we want to do is stay low. That is what we're all doing in life. Nobody's prepared to stick their head up and say, yo, this ain't fucking true, man. It ain't no fucking gunfire, really. Do you know what I mean? Until we have somebody that does that, the world ain't going to change. And I ain't that man to do that. I'm just saying, in principle, that's all.
I think I'm more nuttier than you, because if there was war now or something, I would love for nuclear warheads to be flying in our skies. You know, just end it now before it's too late.
That's that.
Well, I did give time for somebody else to speak before I spoke. I will say
Well,
this. I will say this. To your comment now, I'll say this. If that happened, sorry for coughing into the mic. If that happened, it's the whole human race is gone. And now somebody was speaking, and I think it's AC, speaking about history earlier. Now, this is what I was trying. This is the reason why I came on for to begin with. Does anybody know anything about mud floods and the orphan trains? Also, where the
mud floods.
Africans. Let me finish. These are the three questions I was going to really ask earlier. Does anybody know anything about the history of mud floods? There's one. Two, if you do you know anything about the orphan trains? Two. And if you do anything about both of them, do you know number three? And that is this. Where did Africans really come from? They didn't just turn up, or did they, in Africa? And why and where did they come from to begin with? That's the questions I'm asking. And has anybody got any answers?
Humans. Well, I think the human brain started opening up and seeing imagination was when they started taking like DMT.
Okay. It seems like you got off track. I don't know what train you're on, so we'll go back on track to what I was saying. So we'll go back to, do you know anything about mud floods?
Yes.
Who said yeah?
Maybe. I said yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I
then
know a little bit
explain
about
what you know about mud floods then. Come on.
it's a long old subject, man. Yeah, it's just mud floods at a certain period of time that
I could
wipes
sum
out
it up. I could
certain.
sum it up in 2 words. Great reset. There you go. The first thing is every 2,600 years, there's a great reset every 2,600 years. Now,
What,
one
a
of the great
natural reset?
no, not natural, man-made.
A
Because of
man-made.
man-made reset. And what happens is, what the last reset was this. Well, the reset, it's been a reset a few times, other than nuclear.
I was
Mud
going to
floods
say
is their
how many
favorite.
times. I was going to say how many times has there been a reset?
Let's say 5. Hypothetically, just say 5.
Oh,
This is the last one, and we're on the 5th one.
Yeah.
Let's just say there's been 4 resets already, and this is the last one. Yeah, before we all hypersend into the next realm. Yeah, those that are awake will go there, and those that are asleep won't. They have to work even harder to get there. But either way, remember, if somebody knew something that you didn't know and they were keeping it away from you because you could ascend, would that benefit them or would it benefit you? It certainly wouldn't benefit you. It certainly wouldn't benefit you because you don't know anything about it. So then the ascending process that's coming you can't ascend because you can't ascend because you know fuck all about it. Now they can because they're using your information against you, so they tend to step in instead of you, so they take your place. Now remember this: if you know nothing about nothing, well then you know nothing about nothing. Job done. If you
Well,
know something about, if you know something about a little, if you know a little bit about something, at least you can work on it and make it more than what you used to know. Go on.
yes. Okay. Okay, that's fine. You was earlier when you was talking about your rights, and you was being selfish, saying, they can't control me. You know, it's my rights, it's my life. You know, but I was thinking about everyone uh, as a whole. We're headed into the shits. You know, we're not headed into paradise. Now, as an individual, yeah, I can say, I don't do this and I don't do that. But as a whole, we're all headed in the same direction. So it doesn't matter what we say.
Very similar. And what I mean by very similar is this: no, we're not all heading in the same hole. We're already in that hole. We all think we're heading into somewhere. We don't already see where we are. Yeah. You need to stop thinking within and start looking out and seeing
Yeah.
where you are, what you can do to change your situation. And the only way you can do that is being with like minded people that is also out the box that can help you get out there. But remember, first thing is listen before you look. Because when you look before you listen, you see things that you don't want to believe in, which turns you away from the information that's there to help you. And that's what's happening to us all today because we are guided by BBC, Channel 4, and everything else, and have been for many a year. Also, by the videos, we have been told that fiction movies are fiction. They're not, they're
Peter,
fact.
Peter, again, I'm nuttier than you. 15-minute cities. I'm for 15-minute cities. We're all cramped up into 15-minute cities, or we all live in tower
Are you crazy?
blocks.
You're going to give up your freedom to move anywhere on this earth for 15 minutes.
It's not giving up your freedom, though, is it?
Well, if you're limited in a certain perception of a circle for 15 minutes and you step out of there and you're punished for stepping out of there, your freedom has gone.
There is no punishment for stepping out. For driving out, there is, but for stepping out, there isn't.
So let's put it this way: for the driving, there is, but not yet for the person that steps out. But for driving, it's acceptable. Yeah, we can accept a driver that goes out of the 15-minute city to be punished. But because I'm on foot, I don't need to be punished unless I'm driving. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, you're living in your 15-minute city, and I'm living in my 15-minute city, and Case is living in his 15-minute city. So if vehicles from your 15-minute city was to come into my 15-minute city and pollute my air, I would want you charged. Of course.
Okay, then let's put it this way. If I was 18 years old and I couldn't get on with my family and I chose to move out of Digbeth into Swansea, yeah, which is many miles away, I chose not to have nothing to do with them. But when I was 27, after 18, 27, after having the family and everything else, I changed my mind. But remember this, because I live in Swansea, I can't change my mind. Because I live in a 15-minute city, I chose that area. Now I'm trapped. I can't use my car to go and see my family. I have to have nothing to do with them. You find that acceptable?
No, obviously not.
Well, that's your 15-minute cities for you, mate. Because when I'm living in Swansea, I can't see the rest of my family, and I have to make do and put up and shut up, like you're telling me to do so, because you're prepared to accept it, and because of you people that's prepared to accept it. That's my life over, because it's
Hold
down
on,
to you.
hold on,
Hold on, let
hold
me
on.
finish. It's down to you. That also, it's also down to me. That gives you the benefits that you have, because some of us fight for your freedoms, and then when you receive them, all you want to do is give them away. Fucking stand up for your rights, you prick.
Right. I go to every protest. I've been going to every protest since 2020, since the start of the lockdown.
But yet, in your back chat, but in your back tongue, or whichever slang you want to use, you says you want to accept 15-minute cities. You hypocrite. Get it right. You can't be one thing and then be another. Come on. You're
well,
either true or you're false. Which is
hold
it?
on. With regards to protesting, you know, I was the first streamer at the London lockdown protests during the pandemic. I was the first streamer there. Before Tyrant Finder,
My point,
before Subject Access,
my
before all
point
of
is
them.
this. My point is this. You can be $1 million, pal. But as soon as you accept something that isn't worth
Hold on,
the rest
hold
of
on.
us, you give
Let
up
me
your
finish.
rights. You
Let me
told me
finish.
2 seconds ago. You just
Let me
told me a
finish.
few seconds ago. You accept 15-minute cities. Like I just gave you an example that
And
because
I'm
I
giving
chose to
you
move to
and I'm
Swansea,
giving
I can't
you
go back
I'm
and say,
giving you the reason, Peter, as to why I'm for it. So
go on then. Sorry.
um I was the I was the first streamer at these protests. So I see all of these protests firsthand before any of the viewers or any person see them. You know, I was the first one, social media wise. Uh, so I thought there was going to be some sort of revolution or whatever, and the people were going to take over, you know, and some civil war was going to break out or something like that.
Nothing happened.
And how rough it was. If you see all my footage from the protest at the start of the lockdown, the police were really forceful towards the protesters, arresting them, just picking them on the spot, arresting them, whether they're man or woman or whatever. So I thought something was going to go on, but nothing happened. And now I've been to over 320 protests now in 3 years. And so far, none of them have achieved fuck all.
I will agree 100%, mate. Shall I tell you how you're doing things wrong?
Tell me.
You're protesting. Yeah, that's what you're doing wrong. There's no need to protest. You need to storm. You need to drag these people out and start hanging them from the nearest lamppost. These
Well,
people
you're
ain't there
saying
for.
this. Well, you're saying this. Well, there's been all of these protests. People have gathered together for a reason, you know, and they go there, shout outside Downing Street for an hour, 2 hours, and
Yeah,
then they go
yeah,
home.
And you can't
yeah.
just
Listen,
like commit
watch.
acts
Listen,
of
listen,
terrorism
listen.
because you get locked up
Yeah, okay, okay. Here we go. Story
straight
Yeah,
away.
time teller.
that is true,
Listen,
Age.
listen. Story time teller. Listen. What's happening in France? Is anybody being taken in for fucking terrorism? No, they're taking back their streets no matter what. They're fighting to take it back. What are we doing in England? We are supposed to be the lions of the world. Yeah.
They're not
What are we?
fighting. They're not
We seem
really
to be
though. They're
fucking
just burning the street. They've been doing that for
Oh,
3 years.
doesn't
I've
matter what
watched
it
it.
takes, mate. They ain't implicating jack shit in that country. Job done. Yeah. And even the president is being taken out, or whoever he is being taken out. Yeah. Le Pen, whatever her name is soon to set in. Now, the people are
I've been
putting these
hearing that
people
for
in
like 10
power.
years.
We ain't doing nothing in England. Shall I tell you why we ain't doing nothing in England? Because we're accepting
Nothing.
yesterday's shit.
Absolutely
Yesterday's shit. We're
nothing.
accepting. Look at today. We're there eating mince pies and everything else, and yesterday's forgotten. Come on, you people. England is supposed to be England. Where are the lions? There ain't no fucking lions in England. You're all cowards.
But
Look,
why haven't
fuck,
you like pulled these people out and started hanging them from
Shall I
lampposts?
tell you why you're all cowards? Because none of you know
What?
nothing about nothing. No
Well,
history.
you're a coward as well because I haven't heard you kill
I'll
one
agree.
of
I'll
these.
agree. I didn't say I was nowhere better than you.
Well, then
I
you're
didn't
shouting at
say that.
everyone
I
else,
didn't say
calling
I
everyone a
wasn't.
coward.
I agree. I agree. I'm also a coward. Shall I tell you why? Because I have no backing. I can't do it on my own. But yeah, I'm willing to stand if I have the backing. So then I won't be a coward anymore. Do you know what I mean? At least I want to do that, other than sit back and talk shite to the next man on a live. I want to do something about it. I've learnt the laws to try and change it. I will stand and be that man if somebody wants to stand behind me.
Yeah,
Somebody
that's
wants
cool.
to
But that's
move
cool.
forward.
This isn't
I
the
need
fucking
to
live
say,
stream. This
until
isn't
I
the
have
live
a
stream
crowd,
for that. Yeah,
let me
this isn't
finish.
the live
Let me
stream.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
This isn't the
Until I
live
have a
stream for
crowd.
that. This isn't the live stream for that. Yeah. This is a totally different topic. If you want to talk about taking over the government and all that shit, create one of your own live streams, yeah, and invite everyone on it. Don't come on here and start chatting shit about everyone else is a fucking coward.
Yeah. Leave it to the lonely one. Lonely but blue.
Oh, now
Waiting
you're playing the
alone
victim
till you do
card.
something
The
to do,
victim
do, do, do.
card's coming out now.
Listen, why does it need to be a victim
Listen,
card?
listen, I've been hearing listen all night.
Hey,
You
mate.
got rid of
Mate,
two people. They got bored of your
Mate,
shit, man.
Mate,
They got bored of your bullshit, godly shit, which you can't prove.
Mate. Do you need to be called
No,
Gobby, mate? I'm going to shut up for 5 minutes.
I can't understand the word. Did you speak
Somebody else
English?
a chance
Are you
to
from
speak.
England?
Mate, you're breaking up. We can't understand you anyway. I might as well speak like you.
What you chatting shit, man? You
Get
just
away
chatting
from
shit.
your mic. Get away.
Chatting shit. All night. You got rid of two people. They got bored of your bollocks. So now I'm just going to chat shit. See you later. Sorry, Age, but... Age, I mean, sorry, local. It's fucking annoying.
Oh, he's gone now.
If he wants to talk about righteous, godly taking over the government, then fucking make a live stream about it and do it. I've seen heard so many people like him come on to live streams and talk about we're all cowards and we need to do this and we need to do that and why haven't we done this? But none of them have done it themselves. Not one of them have done it themselves.
That's what I said about the protests.
Exactly. Just another waffle.
That's what I said about the protests. You know, I've been to all of these protests, not just lockdown protests. Mark Kelly said 500,000 people turned out. There was actually more than that turned out. And all they did was march through London and shout outside Downing Street for a little while and then go dance in a park, you know, with DJs. That's all they did.
You see the Grim Reaper, yeah?
Oh, the Grim Reaper. Look at that,
It
guy.
weren't the Grim. That was funny, man. Oh, that was a good little shout there.
Mark Kelly, I went to 99% of all of these protests and I see it all. People talk about shills and undercover. I see it all. That's why I took a step back just to see it all. You know, stepping back and just seeing it all from a bird's eye view. Oh, earlier on, I forgot to mention, earlier on, Batman sent a super chat. Fantastic, old boy. Cheers for that, mate.
Yeah, that's about it, I think, isn't it?
We could talk about Charles and the coronation. Oh, we could talk about we got a guest at the back. Age Case, it's your mate Peter Pope that I put to the back. We can calm down a little bit. It's just the talking of waffling a bit too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay,
understand what Peter is saying. I understand what he's saying. Why hasn't anyone done anything? We should do something. Yes, I agree. I think everyone agrees with that. But when someone's getting really hyped up and the emotions are running high because of their beliefs, you know, that someone needs to do something. But if you're not doing nothing, it contradicts yourself.
Wow, no one's overthrown the monarchy. That's for sure.
It's up to you, Age. I'm letting you host the show for the next 10 minutes.
I don't know, man. I think I'm getting tired a bit. I'm gonna.
You're gonna should we wrap it up?
Yeah, if you want. Oh, yeah, you're gone. Where you gone? What we can do when we can do it, incremental steps, I suppose, small things.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong button.
I've done that.
All right then, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Peter, we're gonna wrap it up there, man. Thanks for joining. Also, thanks to Mark Kelly for joining, and also to Reese, Recording Reality, for joining. So today's live stream was about discussion was about the monarchy. I think we got some really good points in at the start, and then towards the end, the monarchy is a really big subject. So emotions can run high. So thanks to everyone for joining in the chat, and don't forget, guys, before you leave, bash the like button, spam the chat with one, guys. Everyone just spam the chat with ones, yes. Yeah, so next week, Age, what's the discussion next week?
I don't know, man.
What are we doing next week?
We'll have to figure one out. Think of one.
Think of one.
There's many. Yeah, have a good week, everyone. Take it easy, local.
Yeah, thanks, Age, and thank you to everybody. We'll see you all next Sunday at the same time, 9:30 GMT.
Peace out, man. Peace out.